Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
All right, so I'm going to record this podcast episode right now, raw. I am in Maui right now, family vacation, and catch my breath for a second. So I just came out of the pool, and I am a newer swimmer. Let's just say to actually learn proper swimming. Like I could swim to save my life and tread water and do this kind of quasi breaststroke kind of thing, but not really ever like my face in the water and breathing underwater. Never learned how to do that. And so as my kids are in swimming lessons now at 4 and 7, learning how to swim, and it's really important to me. My mom grew up with a fear of swimming. I don't think it was necessarily passed on to me, but there was definitely a message of like bad stuff can happen if you put your head under the water. Like whether or not she did say it at times, but it was also like a subliminal thing. And so I never learned how to swim well. And I really wanted to do that. And so I've hired a swim coach at our local rec center. Her name's Roxanne. She's awesome. And I've been working with her one-on-one. And we've only had 4 lessons. Had some time that I was away. We started kind of in November. It's January, so I record this episode right now. And my whole thing was like, I want to be able to do front crawl when we get to Maui. Okay, now, since we ended the lessons just before Christmas, and then they didn't have lessons until, now when I get back from Maui, I had a couple times I went to the pool solo. I'm like, this is going to be good. And, we've worked with flutter boards and doing different drills and, having flippers or flippers, fins, flippers. And, just getting more comfortable in the raw water. Actually feeling like the biggest challenge for me has been my kick. I feel like I'm not really propelling my body forward. So, it's a process and I get all that. But I definitely felt goofy when I went to open swims. I'm here with a lot of these old folks that are there early morning swim, and they've been swimming for, I don't know. I don't know how long they've been swimming for, but they're good in the water. And here I am. I'm the youngin' at 48 in the pool, kind of struggling, but being okay in that. And so got here. This is the beginning of our 4th full day. My husband has taken the boys to the aquarium. He's like, I just want to give you a couple hours. I'm like, oh God, I love you. So I'm like, I'm gonna go to the pool. I'm going to go now because I'm going to talk myself out of it because I still feel kind of freaked out. I don't know what I'm doing. And, my coach isn't there to kind of show me what to do. And I don't remember the drills that we did. And so I got there and I look at the pool and I go, it starts at 5.5 feet. That's my height. I'm like, okay. Because again, that kind of panicky feeling of being in water that's over my head, right? And so I'm like, okay, here's the deal. I'm just going to go and do, because my couple times of going to the pool by myself have been a little bit of a gong show, but yet, at the pool that I go to, they've got, I can use the flippers there. I can use the flutter board, some of the different, if you've done any kind of swimming lesson stuff, there's a little floaty thing you can put between your legs if you just want to work on just arms and it keeps your legs up, floating, buoyant. So none of that stuff there. So I'm like, I'm just going to go and do breaststroke. I'm going to but I'll have I'll have my head in the water. So again, the biggest piece for me has been putting my, being able to breathe underwater, blow bubbles underwater and feel comfortable, right? Not feel tense. And it's, it's interesting because with my swim coach, Roxanne, some of the things that she's cued me on, she's like, swimming's you got to be lazy. Just let your body relax in the water, right? And so I could feel right away when I got into the pool, there was 2 other women that were there and they're swimming laps and they're good swimmers. They got swim caps on. They're just fish in water. And so then there's me. And so I get a little bit of the self-conscious thing. I'm like, whatever, I'm learning something new. I'm going to suck at first. It's okay. It's what is, right? But then I get into the water and I can instantly feel my body tense. I can feel my breathing be shallow, which you've got to be able to breathe, right, to swim. And I would get halfway and suddenly it would almost be like my body would forget what I'm doing and I'd suddenly suck in a whole bunch of water. then I'd feel panicky, then I'd kind of pop my head up, and I can tread water, so I didn't feel like I'm sinking or anything. I'm like, okay, just relax. And it's like, seriously, the whole time. So, I'd go, and it was not an Olympic-sized pool like where I swim at, but, it's a good-sized pool. I get to one end, and it's like, I got to take, like deep breath, kind of like get air back in my lungs, go back for another lap. Same thing. And each time at the end of each lap, I would just kind of like, try to like roll up my shoulders, shake out my body, like literally tell myself, I'm talking to myself, I'm like, Karen, just relax, like just be loose, be lazy. And I got to a point where I almost started, like I could really feel fear in my body. My body felt shaky, my breathing got even more shallow. And I'm literally like experiencing fear in my body. Not mentally so much, but in my body. Body felt shaky and stuff. And I'm like, is this my body feeling tired from the swimming? Because I don't even know how many laps that I did. I just kept going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And that I got to the end, I was like, holy shit. And I kind of stood up in the steps, and I could almost feel my body. Like, ever been in a situation, I'll tell you this. I remember having a car accident. And I've had some, it happens when you've been driving for a period of time. I rear-ended somebody, and I was like, okay. I remember getting up out of the car. I'm like, I'm okay. It wasn't like a big thing. Got up out of the car, and my legs felt like jelly. Like I almost felt like I was going to drop to the ground. It was that kind of a feeling. I'm standing on the steps, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, there is fear coursing through my body right now. Big time. And then I realized, I'm like, oh yeah, there'd be times I'm underwater in the pool, and I start to feel panicky, or I would then just relax, and I would literally forget where I was going, which was not a bad thing, because at least I was relaxed and just present, and I wasn't thinking about a million things as I'm swimming. But as I stood in the steps, and I was like, oh my God, I'm really feeling fear, like big time. You can maybe even tell by the way I'm relaying the story right now. Like, honestly, my voice feels different as I speak to you right now. My ability to find words is difficult. I'm searching for them because it's still very raw, explaining this experience, because it literally just happened. So I got to the end of those steps, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm doing another 5. Fuck you, fear. I will not stop when I'm in this place. I will stay in it. I will be in this place of fear. Nothing bad is going to happen here. I'm in the pool. It's no big deal. But I'm going to sit with this fear right now. Because if I choose to hop out right now, I will, number 1, regret it. I will, number 2, beat myself up. I'll feel shitty the whole rest of the day. And number 3, fuck you, fear. Fuck you. You can surface. The resistance can surface and be there and like, hey, we're hanging out. What do you think? We're right here. Hey, we're right in you. Hey, you know what? We've brought reinforcement and backup. We are strong today. And it makes me think of how many times in my life that I've had a similar experience where I've just felt like I'm being shooken down to my core. And it was way beyond experiences in a stupid fucking pool. I remember my husband being wheeled down the hospital on a gurney and going, fuck, I hope he comes out of this emergency surgery alive. Because we have a 7-month-old at the time, our first son. And what the fuck am I going to do without my husband? I remember talking to an accountant in 2005, and then a bankruptcy lawyer, and just being like, man, there's these student loans, and they're like they're calling the loans now because we're late on them. So they're calling them. And we don't have 85 grand. Him saying, you guys, you got to declare bankruptcy. I'm just feeling shook into my core. I remember the sustained 7.5 years of trying to conceive and become pregnant. And that was not a one-time instant. That was a long fucking haul of pain and sadness and hope being stomped on and hope again and fuck you, this isn't happening. Until adoption finally made me a mummy. Sitting in the fear See, it's a normal thing to want to run from it. It's the primal piece of your brain that says, no, danger, Will Robinson. You got to get the fuck out of Dodge. Like, get out. Danger, danger, danger. Stranger danger. Like, get out, right? But the thing is, sister, hear this right now. There are lessons and gifts in that fear that if you jump out before you receive them, you will miss them. If you jump out when you're afraid, you will be just like I'd mentioned before that I knew that I would be, which is I would regret it. I would wonder what if I stayed in. I would think, God, Karen, like, what the fuck? I'm such a pussy. Like, just do this. You're better than this. Beat myself up. And or it could even go the place if you just seriously retract and go, can't do this. I'm a loser. I'm not enough. I'm not ready. I'm not strong enough. Because if you choose to stay in that place of fear, you will see exactly what you need to see. So I have zero idea of the relevance this is going to have for you in your life right now. But when I feel called to speak a message, this is when I pick up my phone and I hit record. So here is your more tip for today. And the reason why I say that is it feels like it's just a jumble because I'm still very raw in the experience. But I trust and I know it has to happen. Just like I trust and knew I needed to stay into that. I need to stay in fear. And it makes me also think of my oldest boy, Tyson, who's still learning how to swim. And he's like, Mommy, I'm going to try to swim. And he's been taking swim lessons. And we were at the pool yesterday here in Maui. And he just went from kind of like one little end of the, like a ladder, like in a, it's not an Olympic-sized pool, but kind of goes from side to side. And it's the shortest distance. It's like 3 feet. And he's kind of doing a doggy paddle thing, kicking his legs. But he's staying afloat. I'm like, good job, buddy. And I can see when he'd start to sink and he'd get panicky. See, if anything, the gift for me is I know what my son is going through right now because I felt it. I felt it. I know what it's like to feel like you're going under the water metaphorically of what happened with other experiences like I described in our life. And I know what happens when you come out the other end stronger, better, wiser, appreciative, grateful. So your more tip for today is this. What is that? Oh my God. I'm walking around here at the condo in the grounds. It's like a gated community and this fucking cat just ran in front of me and scared the shit out of me. It's not really cats around here. That was so weird. All right. Stupid fucking cat. Okay. So where are we? More tip for today. What is something that you're afraid of doing that you are not staying in because of the fear? Like you're allowing it to stop you. Identify what that is. And here's the second piece of this, and I want you to journal both of these. What is it costing you to avoid that fear? What gift are you possibly missing? And what is it costing you to not face that fear and stay in it? Journal both of those and see what insights come up for you, sister. Now listen, 3 things I want to share with you before the end of this podcast episode. Number 1, if you are not already receiving the Woman Wanting More newsletter and part of the tribe and VIP access, right now you need to go do this. Go to drkarenosburn.com, drkarenosburn.com, and opt in for the newsletter. I will send you some cool gifts of the More For Action Guide and video on how to start your day in power. Make sure to grab your free Woman Wanting More limited edition journal. There are currently, as I record this episode, about 200, a little bit less than that left. And I've sent out over 350 to 18 countries around the world over the last couple months. So head over to drkarenosburn.com/free journal, and I will send that to you. Take care of a little bit of shipping, and I take care of all the rest for you. And here's something really cool. I want you to watch the story of these 5 powerful women. Christina, Rachel, Melissa, Amber, and Carrie, who were at Women Wanting More Live 4.0 November 2017, my live event in Victoria, BC, Canada, and a chance to apply for the next one, which is now called The Evolution. So I want you to go over to drkarenosburn.com/The Evolution. Watch this short movie of these 5 incredible women and the transformation to really see what is possible in 50 hours to create transformation, get clear on what you want, to know your deep why, and to create a plan of how to create the life that you truly want, a life of more, sister. So I will try the next episode. A life of more is just one step away from you doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosburn.com/newsletter.